It is easier to forgive someone who repents, but it takes a strong person to give away forgiveness to someone who has caused so much pain yet is not willing to reconcile. Witness this story of self-healing through God in Jeline Fules' special report.
One of the strongest powers in the world that can instantly change hearts and lives is forgiveness. But how easy is it to truly forgive and forget, and to see God in the midst of a heavy heart?
Natutulo yung luha ko kasi nagpapatawad ka pero yung puot ng yung galit mo sa puso nandoon pa rin.
Unlike her children, Lori never had a happy childhood. She spent her young years having to deal with disappointments, betrayals, and series of heartbreaks. She never felt love from her family, as she has always received harsh and discriminating words from them.
Yung magtrabaho ka, di ka pa nakabayad sa mga kinakain mo dito, yung gano'n. Oo, tapos nagkasakit ako, wala talaga ng alaga. Tapos, hahabulin ka ng itak, yung gano'n.
But one of the things that breaks Lori's heart until now is when she recalls the time when her mother offered her to agency recruiters so she can entertain in nightclubs and earn money. After a series of arguments about major family issues and Lori's refusal to enter an illegal job to make a living, she was sent out from their home in Cebu and had nowhere else to go.
Sinisisi ko siya bawat yung halimbawa mayroong nangyari na pinakamabigat, sinisisi ko siya, sabi ko, bakit pinabayaan mo ako? Wala akong pagkukulang sa iyo, yung ganon. Wala akong pagkukulang sa iyo, pinabayaan mo ako, bakit hindi mo ako tinutulungan sa problema ko?
She harbored bitterness and grudges to her family, especially her mother. Sometimes Lori sees herself looking at blank spaces, questioning why she had to go through what she was experiencing. All she saw was darkness. Eventually, Lori was able to reach the busy streets of Manila. She tried her luck in an unfamiliar place, having no assurance with what kind of life is waiting for her the second time around. All she knew was she was already starting on a clean slate. Lori prayed to God to help her recover and start a better journey. In Manila, she found her partner and had 2 daughters. But what Lori thought could be a new happy life became another problem to battle. Lori admitted that the only source of strength she had were her daughters. She and her partner are currently in an on-the-rocks complicated relationship. The major ordeals they had to face every day make her burden a lot heavier to bear. There were times when their family drowned in left and right debts, no payment for tuition fees, electricity, water, and rent. They even came to a point of struggling for money to be able to put food on their table.
Umiiyak ako, sabi ko, Lord, sabi kong gano'n, Lord, bakit hindi mo dininig yung mga hinihiling ko sa'yo na yung iba, kaya ako lumapit sa'yo kasi naniwala ako na hindi mo kami pabayaan at maibibigay mo yung kailangan. Parang nanlumo ako, yung parang gano'n na-discourage na ako sa buhay ko. Parang ayaw ko nang magdasal.
One problem multiplied to so much that she never thought she could handle.
Sa akin lahat, sabi ko, dinadasal ko naman na sana matapos yung problema. Kasi yung problema ko sa sarili ko, hindi ko pa natapos. May problema na naman darating.
Because of a grave financial problem, Lori thought of considering to enter an illegal job for easy money just to save her family from the crisis they were into.
So sabi ko, pupunta na lang ako or sasama ako sa mga illegal recruiter. Sabi kong gano'n, bahala na. Basta meron lang silang iiwan na pera para sa pamilya ko. Sabi kong gano'n. Bahala na, pupunta ako na, sasama ako sa mga illegal kung ano man mangyari sa akin. Hindi naman siya natutuloy.
Then Lori realized that she had to stick to what is right and pleasing to God. She went back to praying. And when things got tougher, she prayed harder. 4 years ago, Lori became a faithful of the Black Nazarene. Right now, although she's still struggling to fight for her relationship with her partner, Lori's family has slightly recovered from a financial crisis. They now live in a house they can call their own and can send the kids to school. But besides praying for a good life for her own family, there is one great thing that she fervently wishes to God every year.
Tanggalin yung puot sa puso ko, tanggalin yung galit ko, yung Lord, sabi ko, patawarin mo ako kung may galit ako sa mama ko, yung ano, sana tanggalin mo yung ano ko, yung galit sa puso ko.
Every single day, Lori still thinks of her mother, because deep in her heart, there is emptiness and great longing that wants to reconcile the broken connection between them. Lori knows she is ready to make amends, but is not sure how to start. Colossians chapter 3 verse 13 says, "Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you."
Gusto ko siyang patawarin, ganun. Pero nanbabaw yung yung ginagawa nila sa akin.
Things may still take time, but Lori is always grateful. Grateful for the things that might come and might not, for she knows that God is working, and He is working for the best.
Natutunan ko na andyan lang pala siya, hindi niya ako pinabayaan. Kaya tinutuloy ko yung paniwala ko sa kanya.
As Lori continues to journey with God, especially in her trying times, she wishes all the best for her beloved mother.
Lord, tanggalin mo tong galit ko, sabi ko. Sana hindi magkasakit ang mama ko, sana na okay lang siya, sana magbago na rin siya, tanggalin mo na rin yung sama ng niya sa dibdib niya, marunong din siyang magpatawad. Ganon, kasi ako handa akong patawad sa lahat ng mga ginagawa niya sa akin.
Seeing God and holding on to Him during atrocities is hard, but Lori believes that this is a start of a good life. She is confident that through her constant prayers, forgiveness is already on its way. But for now, Lori wants to give time. For GNN's Lenten Special Report, Jeline Fule.
They say that life is like a long road trip. The journey is not always smooth and there are interruptions along the way. But for jeepney driver Marcelito de Mesa, an unexpected detour led him to his life's best destination. Witness his story in Eunice Narido's special report.
In the middle of the boisterous streets of Alabang, Muntinlupa, a different noise has reverberated much louder.
Balang sabi po niya sa Biblia sa aklat ng John 3:16, sapagkat gayon na lamang ang pag-ibig ng Diyos sa sanlibutan, kaya ibinigay niya ang kanyang buktong na anak, upang ang lahat ng sumampalataya ay di mapahamak, kundi magkameron ng buhay na walang hanggan.
Early this year, a jeepney driver with the route Katarungan Village, Alabang gained popularity in the internet, not for typical complaints from angry netizens, but for his unusually special treat for his passengers. For every Bible trivia question answered correctly, this driver grants the winning passengers ride completely free of charge, regardless of the destination.
Ano po yung salitang Derby? Okay, saan ang baba mo? Bayan po. Bayan. Pakibalik po sa kanya. Nagisunan po. Pakibalik po.
Although surprised at first, most passengers were amused at the jolly and entertaining driver who seemed to be well versed in reciting and preaching biblical scriptures. But behind this dedicated man of God is a tragic past and an unexpected detour in his once smooth sailing journey in this road called life. Marcelito de Mesa, also known as Sitoy by his family and friends, once treated life as an easy jeepney ride. He was contented with his loving family and a decent paying job, which to his mind were all he ever needed to survive. Marcelito said he knew that there is a God but he cared less, thinking his life's sole purpose was to be his family's provider.
Kilala ko si Lord, pero wala akong tamang relasyon. Wala akong tamang relasyon sa Kanya. Hindi nga ako nasimbe. Ang alam ko lang, magtrabaho. Kasi madami ng anak ko noong that time.
Marcelito previously worked as a driver in a local company and eventually grabbed the opportunity to work abroad in a fabrication company in Malaysia. He left his family in the Philippines, entrusting the huge burden of responsibility to his eldest son Harvey, who was then 11 years old when he left the country.
Sabi ko, anak, pag ako umalis, anak, ikaw na ang bahala sa ating pamilya. Kasi ikaw yung panganay, ikaw yung lalaki, ikaw yung tatayo, papalit sa akin dyan. So ako naman, tiwala ako kasi yung anak ko, masigasig, madiskarte. Hanggang sa nakalis na ako, punta na ako ng Malaysia, 2012 yun, mga January 1st week of January, pumunta ako ng Malaysia hanggang sa dumating ang punto na nandun na ako, tatrabaho na ako. So okay, maganda. Sweldo ako rito, sweldo ako doon.
But while Marcelito has yet to enjoy the blessings of his new career opportunity, he received an unexpected phone call from the Philippines.
Tumawag ang asawa ko, sabi ng asawa ko, Han, yung anak mo na aksidente, ginagawang football soccer to, football field to, pagka may practice sila. Tapos yung goal ng soccer kasi ang likod ng paganon, pabilog yung likod. Binabaliktad nila, ginawang siso. Tapos magkabila may tao, anak ko taga-duyan. Hanggang sa dumating ang punto na siya nadulas at nag-anan yung kanyang tiyan. Tapos nabutas yung bituka niya.
The infection from Harvey's injury was contained at first, but it grew worse as the days passed by. He was eventually transferred in the intensive care unit because the infection from his torn intestines has already spread inside his body. The excitement in his new job turned into sleepless nights for Marcelito, and even premonitions of his most feared scenario haunted him in his dreams. Until one day.
Tawag ako sa sa Pilipinas. Sabi ko, Han, ano kumusta si Serby? Sabi niya, Serby, okay naman, ganyan. Pero malungkot na boss ng asawa ko. Malungkot na siya. Hanggang sa mag-aalas 9 na, siya na mismo tumawag. Nung tumawag siya, umiiyak na siya pa. Sabi niya, Han, wala na si Harvey.
Amid his grief, Marcelito had to make a decision. Would he leave the good job he barely started to attend his son's wake and burial? Or would he continue working away from his family, as he still has a lot of hungry mouths to feed? After much thought, Marcelito asked his boss to allow him to go back to the Philippines to attend his son's wake. Mixed emotions of grief and anger filled Marcelito's heart. He started to question God why such an unfortunate event had to happen to their family during the time when everything seems to be going right.
Sabi ko, Lord, napakasaklap naman ang ginawa mo sa buhay ko. Binigyan mo ako ng anak, nag-iisang lalaki. Binigyan mo ako ng trabaho, magandang trabaho. Problema, nung nakikita ko na yung trabaho, nakikita ko na yung opportunity na mabibigyan ko ng magandang buhay yung anak ko, ba't bigla ako niwa?
Marcelito described Harvey as a good son, having embraced the Christian faith at a young age. He recounted that his son was first invited to attend a Sunday service in a small community church in their area after doing caroling one December. Since then, Harvey became active in attending church activities and always invited his father to attend church as well, but he repeatedly resisted.
Sabi sa akin niya, Pa, church anniversary ng church namin. Baka gusto mong pumunta. Sabi ko, panoorin mo naman ako kasi sasayaw ako. Sabi niya, sabi niya, sasayaw ako para sa Panginoon. Sabi ko, anak, kayo na lang kasi ang dami-dami niyo, kailangan magtrabaho ako. Kayo na yung mapalapit sa Diyos, basta ako magtatrabaho para sa inyo.
At last, Marcelito now attended church, quite tragically though that it had to be for his son's wake. But little did Marcelito know that it was actually the start of the unfolding of God's plan for his life. During the nightly funeral service, the pastor preached for a week about the love of God. Marcelito, although doubtful at first, listened and slowly allowed God's word to work in his hardened heart.
Yung salita ng pastor na lumabas sa bibig niya, alam ko galing sa Diyos. So nakalma ako, napanatag ako ng sandaling yun. Tapos kinuwento niya sa akin kung sino yung una nagmahal, sino yung una nagsakripisyo, ang ating Panginoong Jesus. Sabi niya sa akin, nagsisimula ang pananampalataya sa pakikinig at pakikinig at pakikinig. Ang ginawa ko, nakinig ako na nakinig.
So pumasok si Kristo sa buhay ko. Pumasok siya, tinanggap ko siya bilang Panginoon at tagapagligtas ng buhay ko. At nabago ako. Bago dumating ang punto na ililibing na yung anak ko, na bagong statement ko. Nung nakita ko yung bangkay na anak ko, sinabi ko, masaklap na pangyayari ang nangyari sa buhay ko. Pero bago siya ilibing na bagong statement, sinabi ko, isang magandang pangyayari ang kamatayan ng anak ko sa buhay namin.
With his renewed faith, Marcelito decided to turn away from his hidden sins, like stealing scrap metal and gasoline from their company. Later on, thinking that the culture of fraud in the company was already not helping his spiritual life, he decided to resign and look for a new source of income. One day, a churchmate offered him to drive his jeepney. This was the start of Marcelito's different journey, since God called him to make a spiritual detour.
Nakakita ako ng biyahe rito, biyaheng Katarungan. Sabi ko kay Lord, Lord, ba't dito mo ko nilagay? Siguro may plano ko. Pero dineclare ko na, sabi ko, this year, itong year na to, gagamitin mo ako pang malakasan. Gagamitin mo ako, alam ko, Lord. Hindi ko alam kung paano, basta ako, susunod ako sa'yo. Dito kasi sa Katarungan, ang dami estudyante. Pag dumating yung mga estudyante yan, napakaingay. Siyempre, estudyante, ang ingay. Tapos, dumating sa punto na, di pa nagbabayad. Nagwa 1, 2, 3. Sige, magwa 1, 2, 3 kayo, ha? Gumawa ko ng pakulo.
May nangyayaring tanungan. Sa bawat tanong ko na masasagot nyo, ang pamasahin nyo ay ibabalik ko. Siguraduhin nyo naman na lahat kayo ay nagbayad. Para kung sakaling makasagot kayo, di ako mag-abono.
Tatanungin nila ako, Kuya, ba't ka ba nagtatanong tungkol sa Bible? Ang dami-dami mong tatanong. Pumasok ang dahilan. Pumasok yung tanong. Salamat doon sa estudyante nagtanong sa akin yun. Pumasok, pinaalala sa akin ng Diyos na ikaw ay mangangaral. Sige, papaliwanag ko kung bakit.
Alamin po natin yung salita ng Diyos. Alamin natin ang Word of God, yung Biblia. Isabuhay po natin ang mga salitang yan upang ang ating buhay maging kapakipakinabang sa ating Panginoong Jesus. Ano po?
Since God changed his life, Marcelito has vowed to make street preaching as his mission and this jeepney as his mission field.
Ito na po yung alam ko na ito po yung mission na binigay sa akin ng Diyos. Na ibahagi yung salita niya, ibahagi yung mabuting balita. Siguro habang ako'y nabubuhay at dalangin ko sa Diyos na hindi lang sa buhay kong ito, kundi sa next generation and generation and generation ng buhay ng pamilya ko, matuloy ang ganitong gawain.
Now Marcelito has been invited to speak in various church gatherings and events, testifying about how God transformed his life.
Na huling sinasabi ko sa preaching ko, di baling hindi nyo ako makilala, di baling hindi nyo ako matandaan, di baling hindi nyo matandaan itong jeep na to. Ang importante sa akin, matandaan nyo ang pangalang Hesukristo o Panginoong Hesukristo na siya ang kordero ng Diyos na galis ng kasalanan sa libutan. At sa pamamagitan ng pagtanggap mo sa Kanya at pananampalataya mo, makukuha mo ang buhay na walang hanggan.
Like a journey, life has its rough roads, delays, and even dead ends. But for every unfortunate dead end, God gives us a chance to make a detour, to lead us to the right direction, a path that leads us closer to Him. For GNN Lenten Special Report, Eunice Narido.
God often reveals himself in the most unexpected circumstances. We just have to hold on to his promise that he will not leave nor forsake his children. I am Rach Marquez.
And I am William Theo. This Lenten season, may we be able to reflect upon our Christian lives and strengthen our connections with the one who gave his life for our salvation.